welcome. What's up, dude?
Wait.
Oh.
A second.
Hey, Miss.
She wanted to say hey.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
What's
now we're
happening?
good.
What's up, boy?
What's happening?
What's happening?
Oh.
You always feel the need to clip. You clip.
Sorry, I clip every time.
Every time. It's all good.
I don't care.
It's all good. What's up, boy?
I got the pimp.
How
clip
art thou?
going. I'm doing good.
Yo, is your headache better?
Yeah, my headache's better.
CBD
and
fix your headache.
Yeah.
Boy.
And now we're ready to tell them about this episode.
Okay.
So we have on special guest
Rahsaan Robinson
in the building, and we just start out, kind of dabbling in how we all got first acquainted.
Oh yeah, we did talk about that. That's right. So
Yeah,
that was college is an interesting place, man.
yeah, you meet everybody, all kinds of people.
Yeah.
And then we immediately dive into like how Rahsaan gained an early exposure to the music business. Essentially, grew up in the music business.
Yeah, and his whole life was encapsulated with the music business.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna. I'm just
Yeah,
leave that
we'll save that for
there.
the podcast.
But it's good. It's really unique how he
Yeah.
got started in the music industry.
Yeah, and that in turn led to his first musical experiences and how he fell in love with music. And due to his exposure of, the music industry, we heavily dove into rap and rap culture in this episode.
Which is my heart.
Yeah.
That's my stuff. So I was super excited to have that conversation. Even though he, schooled me on some stuff that I didn't know about, which I always like to. I mean, you ain't gonna know everything. So especially in any specific thing, like it was a deep conversation. So
just a brief overview of just like what we went into when we were talking about rap and R&B.
Go ahead, give us some bars.
Is it Kendrick Lamar? I'm not gonna give him bars, but I'll give him artists. Kendrick Lamar, Yellow Wolf. We also talked about Bryson Tiller, Method Man. There's actually something cool around Method Man that y'all will have to check out in this episode. And we also dove into freshman freestyles and ciphers.
One of my favorite things ever. I think it was like 2012. Those were the most lit BET ciphers actually for me.
Anti-aging tips.
Tidbits. I don't know if there's any tips in there. It's kind of our opinions.
Kind of just BS.
That's a new emerging field, which is super cool.
Yeah.
Put some respect on it. Boy, we talked about Birdman and
Charlemagne verse.
Yeah.
Birdman. Also Charlemagne verse DJ Academics.
If you don't know anything about Birdman going into the Breakfast Club, just search Birdman Breakfast Club on YouTube, and it's hilarious.
And we also talked about how Rahsaan got an opportunity to shadow a staple of a producer in the rap scene, Salaam Remi.
An OG.
And then we kind of just wrapped it up with the cogs of the music business.
Yeah, it just kind of talks about the inner workings. Stuff that a lot of people don't really take into account.
Yeah. And this song that you're listening to, by the way, the music video is actually releasing... it's released, so go check it out today. Go check it out. Chloe Kimes, Medicine Man.
And I actually wanted to say that like when we started, but man, her release show was great.
Amazing.
Congrats and super big thanks to Chloe, Dylan, Estes,
Sierra,
LB,
and all the people who had a hand in that
and
video.
Eli and Olivia. I feel like there's people I'm leaving out, but
amazing video. Go watch it.
It was amazing.
It'll speak for itself, I promise. We'll leave a link in the bio.
Facts. And this has been
Little Risk Big Fist. Thank you. Shaw Audio and Strong Body.
If I paid you enough, could you bring back the past? Could I get another moment of his time? Could I change his mind?
Little Risk Big Fist.
Cool. Yeah, we're good.
Damn, Rahsaan.
Risque.
You got that radio voice, son. I thought G had a radio voice.
Oh, yeah. No, it's
radio voice.
Man,
boy.
it's funny because
Yeah.
Little Risk Big Fist. Strong body.
We're good on all of them.
What's up? What's happening? Let's start this thing, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
All right. So you
if you're hearing this, you're hearing.
Little wrist, big fist.
little wrist, big foot.
Um,
We have fun with those.
Heck
Yeah, it's a lot.
I got
of
some
fun.
new ones I forgot to put on there.
Yeah,
but
I
we'll get
know,
them
and there's
soon.
we got some really
G.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah. But
Sipping on
yes.
that midnight summit, boy. What's
So we're all drinking. What would you call
these are craft beers.
crafts?
Be craft beers.
We're being
yeah.
craftsmen with the craft beers, and you just heard a radio voice just come on. So that's our
Boy.
special guest,
Yeah.
Rahsaan Robinson.
Hey,
Thank you for
dude,
thanks for
welcome,
coming
dude.
over.
Hey, thanks for inviting me, man.
Of course.
I've seen so much success with this podcast. I've been wanting to hop on this for a minute, dude.
Dude, when I asked you at
Oh,
the show
that's
last
awesome.
week, I was like, he was like, yeah, I've been seeing you guys been doing the podcast more and more consistent. And
Yeah.
I was like, dude, would you ever be interested in, coming on? And as soon as I said that, he was like, yeah, I'm fucking
for like
game.
a hot minute, I've been wanting to.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
yeah.
So I was
That's awesome.
like, all right, sweet.
Yeah, definitely, man.
So I would like to start at where I met you,
Yeah.
which was through a mutual friend that we had, and I just pretty much said hey to you and
Yeah.
knew who you were, and that was about it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, towards the end of school, our paths started to cross.
Yeah, a lot more.
A lot more.
Yeah, between like classes and just little events here and there around MTSU, Murfreesboro in general. Dusty too, man. Literally, we had a class together too. Which one was it? It was
Was
it the it was a 3-hour class at the very end. Bubba
Smith,
Bubba
yeah.
Smith's class. Shout out to Bubba, man. That was a great class for
yeah,
sure.
the first day he brought his Grammy in.
Yep. His first day, he just brings his Grammy in, man. He's
Yeah.
like, I kind of know what I'm doing, so listen
That's
to me.
lit. That's
But,
lit.
Those Mundo musical moments.
yeah, right. Yeah, Mono Musical Monday. Yeah, that's right. I remember that. But literally, he but just straight up, just from different events, classes, whatever. You know, I've always crossed paths with you guys, and just always just worked out from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take it back. Let's take it back
before he kind of got into what I would call this whole music business thing. Yeah, what? So I know there was a point where you had no clue that you wanted to do anything affiliated with music, and then there was a point where you were like, okay, this is something I want to do.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I kind of grew up in the music business. My mother my mother Denise Brown being a very successful entertainment attorney. Shout out to her because she did the darn thing. She started out in New York,
definitely.
went to NYU, went to law school out there, passed the bar out there, and during the time, the bar out in New York was the apparently the hardest one in the whole nation.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, every other one was the exact same level of difficulty and whatever, but apparently New York's was the hardest one, and she passed it first try. I was like,
that's
wow,
awesome.
Okay, yeah,
that's awesome.
So she started out in Wall Street, doing her thing as an entertainment attorney, and then eventually the opportunity to run Warner Brothers out in L.A. popped up to
That's
her.
insane.
Yeah, so she did her thing out there.
So casual.
Yeah,
So
yeah, right,
casual. Can you just say it again, please, for anybody that might not have been paying attention?
Yeah,
Came
right,
across the
so-
opportunity to what?
To become president of the music label at Warner Brothers. Yep.
That's
Okay,
interesting.
now I knew your mom was in the music business, but I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's hype.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she.
That's hype.
So what was that like? Knowing
Did you
not
think
going
anything
into
of it?
Well, I actually didn't even find that out until maybe I was 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Because I was born out in L.A. and that's the whole reason why I was born out in
while
Los
she was
Angeles.
at Warner
She
Brothers.
was doing that
Yep.
at the time.
The only reason why I was born in L.A., or the only reason why I wasn't born in New York City or Jersey or wherever she was living during the time was because she decided to move out west to run Warner Brothers.
That's
uh-huh.
cool.
So, yeah, I was born out there, and I lived there for majority of my life. Then we moved out to New Jersey for a little bit, back to New Jersey.
Okay.
Did she
because-
buy your voice? Because God, he's got a radio voice, that dude.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Man,
she
was-
went out to L.A. She's like, can I pay for him to have a great voice, please?
Man, I'll tell you, she
First in line.
Right now, she's very big on making sure we sounded proper. My mom's
Of course,
voice is
yeah.
very
It's
professional.
not even just that, dude. You were blessed. You were blessed.
Yeah,
So
right.
I'm really curious. Most people who go on to be in the music business, they come from a background where they just fall in love with music, and then they
Yeah.
find out that there's this whole thing called music business.
Yeah.
You're right. That is how it
And then- but-
usually happens.
Yeah. Well, primarily, from my mom running Warner Brothers and from her being an entertainment attorney representing all these different people, she has stacks on stacks on stacks of CDs, right? And as a kid, I remember one
naturally.
day. I remember
Yeah.
as a kid one day, you know how you are with kids. You're so attracted to different colors and designs, whatever.
Yeah.
And ironically enough, the very first album that I stumbled upon as a kid was Midnight Marauders by A Tribe Called Quest.
No kidding.
Yeah, Q-Tip and Phife Dawg.
Hey, come
R.I.P.,
on now.
but-
I imagine that was kind of towards the top of the stack,
Man,
though.
let me tell you.
Come on. Come on.
It was
Tribe Called
it was
Quest.
buried in there. I remember I was just kind of toying around with her CDs.
Yeah.
I actually used to get in like really big trouble for doing this. I used to take all her CDs out and just kind of play with them, whatever. And she would always catch me like, "What the hell are you doing, dude?"
Oh,
Those
I
were in
remember-
alphabetical
Yep,
order.
Yep. No, they actually were. They really were. Like Tupac was one of the first people there, and then it went all the way down to like Ziggy
She
Marley or
had,
something
like,
like that.
CD cases.
Yep.
Just
See, that's so
man.
cool. That's so
Yep.
cool.
But anyway, yeah, so I found the Midnight Marauder CD, and I remember I was just so attracted to the way it looked. If you remember the album covers, green and black,
Yeah.
and had the woman's body on it. And then in the very back, a lot of people don't know it, but you have a lot of different rappers who took, face shots, and they were all over the album. Like Busta Rhymes is literally right there.
Really?
Yeah, if you look at the album
pulling this
cover,
up on
yeah,
my
pull it
phone.
up. The album cover has all these faces of different rappers. I can't name all of them.
Yeah.
But I remember watching an interview with Busta, and Busta was saying like, "Yeah, my face is on it. Apparently, Method Man's is on it. Whatever." And I'm like, "That's kind of dope."
Method
But,
Man. He always shows up
Yep.
somewhere. I swear.
Somewhere,
Dude, he
everywhere,
always slips
man.
in there.
But literally, I popped that CD in, and one of the first songs that came on was "Electric Relaxation." And when I tell you that song was the song that made me fall in love with hip hop music, let alone
Okay.
music in general. Right? Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. You look at the
Yeah.
very back, you see all the faces. Those are all rappers themselves. man.
Did you find it?
Yeah, I'm looking it
Yep.
up.
Yep.
Damn, that's
And
crazy
so,
looking.
Yeah. So
That's
know,
awesome cover art, man.
yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, so
I can see it as a kid why you would be attracted.
Yeah,
to
because I'm
something
just
like
looking
that.
like, what is going on here? And then I put the CD in, and Electric Relaxation, like I said, one of the first songs that came on. After that, I was like, yo, this is insane. Because if you remember that song, just the vibe of it, and how they the flow, and even Q-Tip's voice, man, just everything's just just wild about that song. So after that, I just kind of really.
And you're at
started
what age,
dissecting.
probably?
I had to have been like maybe 8 or 9.
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah. After that, I just kind of started really dissecting different, albums. And
Yeah.
next thing you know, I was diving into the Biggie album. I
Now,
was diving into the.
Did you listen to music with a different ear since your mother was,
Did she talk about music like that? Like,
she,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, she was more. Yeah,
like
she
going off
did.
what he said. Like, is there
Yeah.
something that might have influenced the way that you think about music in the first place?
Yeah.
Like being around it. So
Honestly, she was big on the vibe or the atmosphere that certain songs like gave off,
Okay.
Because my mom used to have people at the house all the time, Friday
course.
night fish fries,
Ooh.
hanging out on. Yeah, those were dope. Yeah, Friday night fish fries.
Just sounds
Live
like
for the
a-
Friday night fish fry.
Having people over on Saturdays, Sundays after church, whatever. And music was huge whenever it came to having people over. It's still how it is to this day. But we would have people over all the time, and literally she'd have different albums coming on depending on the vibe of the crowd who would
Always
be
had
over.
music playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And always
Good
had
house-
music
A
playing.
good host always does.
Absolutely. And a great host can read the room and see,
Definitely,
like, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I'm not gonna blast
Yo, that's
Waka
what I
Flocka
was
if we're all just
watching
sitting
that.
here chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that's so backwards. You know what I
Wrong
mean?
environment.
Yeah, wrong
Yeah, I'm
place.
watching the Defiant Ones. Have you heard of that documentary?
Yeah, I have. Mhm.
About Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre. So
Yep,
I've
yep.
watched each part. Like I've fallen asleep at different parts and stuff.
Yeah.
So I've watched each episode at like probably 50%, and then I'll go to the next one and
Yeah.
I'll skip back. And like I've been rewatching them though.
Yeah.
Right. So during that process, they've talked about how Dr. Dre used to do that as a kid.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
that's just kind of crazy.
Nah, yeah, exactly, man. And but really I think that's what my turning point was, between just seeing that literally music to me is just, it's more than just music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle. It's influential. You know what I mean? A lot of songs out here, spark so many different movements around
It's
the nation, or
culture.
the world.
Yeah.
It's
The
culture.
Music
you know?
the popular music
Yeah.
represents the culture.
when
at the
when
time.
people go out of the country, like they go to Europe, they go to Asia, whatever, a lot of people go for the food, a lot of people go for the shopping, a lot of people go for the music. You know what I'm saying? Like there's different music out there, there's different music reflects the culture, like you just said.
Yep.
So to me, with music being that big of a lifestyle, that's kind of what I fell in love with. And then just seeing how my mom made it fun. You know what I'm saying? She
Yeah.
made it like the
It
whole
was such
thing
a
was
part
interesting.
of her life,
yeah.
but it was also very serious too.
Yeah.
Like she involved it in a lot of different things that she did.
Exactly. And just seeing how she, flipped it and made it, that's her life. She never called it work. She never said I gotta fly to wherever for work. You know what I'm saying? She always just said I gotta fly here, or I gotta do this, or I gotta do that. But she never referred to it as like her job. She never referred to it as
cool.
work.
Yeah.
And the more that I saw her, I guess kind of emulate that, feeling, necessarily just seeing like, how happy she was doing it and doing whatever, that made me fall more in love with it too.
You knew that aspect of her life had such a big impact that it was making the other aspects, like her involvement with you and how she handled situations and stuff like that. That influence, what she was doing, had a positive impact on your life.
Yeah, precisely.
More than one way.
Yeah, and my mother, if anyone knows me, that is my greatest inspiration. That's my role model.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool as shit.
That's literally, if I could sit back and interview my mother back in the day, like what she was doing, I would love to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, straight up. She did the damn thing. You know what I mean? And
definitely, definitely so.
For sure.
She had you in the process.
Yep.
Boy.
See, that's why there's so much
mind.
respect right there, because being in such a very demanding position, like
I feel like demanding is a light word for it.
Man,
kind of, yeah.
Man.
But
seriously,
that just shows how strong that she is to be able to do such a large job,
and she made it look easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like she just made it look more enjoyable than what it was. Because let me tell you, I remember I originally wanted to be an entertainment attorney, right?
Really?
And then when I actually,
that kind of makes sense.
But then when I actually did the research of like what she did, I'm like, this is boring as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like the contracts and the,
that's
whatever.
hard work too.
Yeah, it's real hard work. It's important. Yeah, people need entertainment attorneys just to make sure that if you're not too coached up on contract lingo or like what you're signing, you can sign your life away and you don't even know it.
Yeah,
it's one of those things
and
you got to be. You can't. There's no mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
and
mean?
And they can negotiate for you as well.
100%.
So
yeah,
like,
it's like a more powerful manager, in my opinion. Like it's like a manager with it's like a manager with a bigger sword. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. Like she literally is going in there and just doing the damn thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she made it so much more enjoyable than what it really was, because I took copyright law and holy smokes, my brain turned to jello.
Some
you know
people,
what I mean?
I would argue also, like just like mixing for me and just like songwriting for him, it's certain people like can do certain things, and there's a certain breed of people that enjoy law.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like my girlfriend's in law school right now, and her and some of the people I've met through her going to school at Belmont is like, okay, you are a certain kind of people. Like, I mean, you meet engineers. Like, I always joke about that. Like, we're a bunch of weird asses. We're a bunch of nerds. We are a bunch of nerds. Like, we might look at one way on the outside, but like, we have to study those pieces of gear and and what this is gonna do to that, like, so intensely that it takes a certain kind of person, I think.
But the good thing about the music industry is most people are weird.
Yeah.
So
I don't even.
And the easier part,
I wouldn't call it weird.
Yeah, I would
just
even
different.
Yeah. Or not even just different. I would just say it's
more expressive.
Yeah. Precisely.
In touch.
Yeah. You're more in touch with you're more in touch with different aspects of life, and you're more.
I found it easier to be more in touch with myself working through music.
You know what I mean? Like which goes back to what I was saying about music being a lifestyle. Music brings out certain aspects of your life that you didn't know were your strengths or what you love doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For instance, man, I remember.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
a good point.
Yeah,
Fuck
for real, man.
Dude,
Just
that's
because.
A really good point.
Because I know I literally am speaking like, because I'm speaking with experience, man. I have never had anything like I could literally sit down and have someone pick apart Rahsaan, right? And straight up tell me, this is what you're good at, this is what you're bad at, this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do. I literally could sit there, someone could say that to me, and I still would be like, what the hell, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'll listen to a song, and I'll listen to like an album, and I'll just dissect what they're doing, and I'm like, damn, I feel that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
do you like to consume musical projects like as a single, or like do you like the album experience?
I like the album experience because there's some artists out there, and Kendrick's really big on this too.
I love listening to his albums.
His albums, his whole albums. Like, you got to listen to. Kendrick makes you listen to every song on his album, whether it's just him talking, whether it's him messing around on a song or whatever. You have to listen to the whole thing to straight up understand what was going on.
Yeah.
And the first time he did that, or the first time that I caught on it rather, was Good Kid, Mad City. And it's funny because everybody calls that his most commercial album, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you listen to it, that literally dissects who Kendrick is. He's a good kid, literally in a mad city. Not to trivialize the title or whatever, but literally from start to finish, it's about him growing up in the ghetto and going through things that stressed him out as a youngster, being surrounded in this culture where violence is going on, lying, cheating,
and
stealing,
he even
whatever.
had like his grandma like reinforcing like lessons that he should be learning throughout the album.
Throughout the album,
teaching him good things. But he also is in this fucked up city.
Literally every song title and every song
Good
on
kid,
there.
Mad City.
Yeah, exactly. Every song title on that album literally dissected what the hell he went through. And then, in my opinion, he should have made a side A and a side B to it, because anybody can agree with me when I say that side A went from the very beginning of the album to what's that track called? I'm Real. Remember that song?
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, that's the end of side A, and then you go to side B, and that's where he's now working with Dr. Dre, because the very next song is Compton with Dr. Dre on it.
Women, weed, and
Yeah, and that song and all that, and literally that whole next side of the album is literally about him now being this famous, rich, successful individual.
I never listened
saying?
to that one that intensely.
Yeah.
My favorite one is To Pimp a Butterfly.
Oh Jesus,
But
man!
that's,
Don't get me
that's
started on
my
that.
favorite album. But and like
man.
section, don't get me
That's
wrong,
one of the
Section
most-
80 is fire.
That's a
Like
classic,
if you're
yeah.
an OG Kendrick fan,
Yeah.
shout out to Tyler Bally back home. He put me on, my buddy Tyler Bally. He put me on like Kendrick before he popped off. Like he was like, dude, you haven't heard this mixtape called Section 80? And I was like, what the fuck?
And you're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, and then I listened to it. Oh.
I would say that's one of the most artistic albums of like our generation.
The Butterfly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
yeah.
man.
There's so many
what a-
people that worked on that album though.
Yep.
So I mean, not to take away from it, but like
I mean,
it
it's
was
all about a
teamwork.
team.
It was
Yeah,
a
yeah,
teamwork.
it's all about
Like,
a
but
team.
some like, I mean,
Yeah.
wasn't George Clinton on that album?
George Clinton, yeah, he was on I think he was on the first song.
I believe so.
Maybe,
too.
yeah. He was on the he was on the first song, maybe. I may be wrong, but yeah, he was definitely on the album. George Clinton, you had
But I didn't listen. I listened to that one more intensely, way more intensely than I did Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah.
Also because I pulled a couple of the singles that I've listened to countless times off that album to DJ with. And it's just like, I feel like whenever I think of that album, I think of like 3 songs. I'm sorry, but I do. Like, so I don't know it. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it is.
And then, but that project, I should go back and listen to that as a whole.
That album was the most mainstream album Kendrick ever put out, and he had to.
Yeah,
you know
it
what I
was.
mean? Because
It was a perfect time for
yeah,
it, too,
it was.
for his
It
career.
was because in reality, he didn't even. From what I'm hearing, he didn't even want to put that album out. He wanted to put To Pimp a Butterfly out. That was the album that he was
people weren't
supposed to
ready
put
for
out.
it yet.
But you're right, people weren't ready. Interscope wasn't ready. Even Dre was saying like, you got to put something out there that's gonna
Resonate.
resonate in people's
It's got
heads.
to be a little pop,
Establish
Yeah.
yourself.
Now
it has
Kendrick can
a
put
pop vibe to it.
Yeah, Cole did it. Every prominent rapper right now that I can think of has done it, and now they can literally put out whatever the hell they want.
You have to
because
do one good like commercial album.
one good mainstream album. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, that's a really good
yeah.
point because I don't think I can remember any album that Kendrick put out that was like really commercial except for
Yeah,
Good Kid,
except
Mad
Good
City.
Kid, Mad City, and then everybody and their mother was quoting that album because you had what? You had swimming pools. You had
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Swimming pools you heard in every single party, which ironically enough is hilarious because you know what that song is about. It's about
Not
alcoholism.
drinking.
It's about not drinking, him not wanting to drink.
Yeah.
Yet you hear that song at every party, and everybody they're playing games like pour up, drink, and then they'll take a shot or something. But in reality, Kendrick's like,
You wanna
yo,
know
I
what's
don't
really
want to
funny?
drink. You
You
know?
wanna know
Yeah.
what's really funny? When
So-
that song first came out, my dumbass, this was before I had a studio and everything. Like
Yeah.
I was just making beats on my computer in my room, and I was with
Mm-hmm.
some friends, and I played that song, and I was being a smartass and tipped the bottle of vodka back every time they said
Yep,
drank for
drank.
one course.
Yep.
And in 20 minutes, I was.
Just done.
I think that's the
Yep.
night. I think that's the night
Smashed.
I bought my first drum machine for $535 on
'Cause you
eBay
were
and
drunk.
woke up the next morning and I was like,
Why the hell did I just
what
drop?
the fuck, dude? Like shit.
Oh, that's funny. It's like,
That's that song.
yep. Nah, that is so funny that
It's me being freaking arrogant.
You know what's hilarious that you to tie back into talking about my mother earlier. You told me that your friend put you on with Kendrick in his earlier years, like
Yeah.
Section 80. What put me on with Kendrick? Do you remember the XXL freshman list?
Yes.
You know all that?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Remember when
I used to follow those heavy because
Yeah.
it used to be good.
Yeah, it used to be fire, and now
Oh.
it sucks. And yes, at me if you're listening to this and you think it's good. We'll
Yes,
argue
at
later,
me.
all right? We'll argue later, because trust me. Because, dude, let me tell you, one of the best XXL freshman lists was when Kendrick was on it, and you remember this. It was Kendrick, Mac Miller, Yellow
Yes,
Wolf,
yes.
Lil B when he took it serious, right? And then Saha the Prince, I think, was on it, and my God, there was another dude on it that was fire. That I'm literally gonna hate myself because
I don't remember
drawing a
the
blank.
list.
But my mom,
But I
was
know there was good people.
But my
when Kendrick
mother
was
was
in.
representing Yellow Wolf during the time. Like,
Really?
Yeah. She was representing Yellow Wolf from the very. It may have been the second Trunk Music. Is it the white background and he's like just hunched
Trunk
over?
Music too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second Trunk Music was representing him from there to when he got his deal with Shady Aftermath. Straight up.
Okay.
And was representing him the whole time.
That was about
And-
ish when I started listening to him.
Yeah,
probably.
that was my that was about when I
I think
started.
I found him on live mixtapes.
I found him because my mom told me about him straight up. Like she
Yeah.
was like, I started representing this guy
That's
called Yellow
so
Wolf, and I'm like, who the hell's Yellow Wolf? Then she told me like, this is the mixtape, and her being like in his camp or whatever. She got all the memorabilia and got an actual physical copy of Trunk Music too. So I went put it on my Xbox or whatever, because that's how we all listen to music on
Yeah.
game systems during the time. I put it on my Xbox 360 during
While
the
you're
time.
balling out on NBA, whatever.
While I'm killing people in Halo 3,
Yeah.
I'm bumping Trunk Music and Box Chevy and whatnot. But literally,
Dude, yeah.
I downloaded it on my Xbox or whatever.
Mixtape slapped.
Oh my
if you had some
God!
subs.
What a darn
Obviously
mixtape,
trunk
dude.
music, but dude, that was one of the first
Mhm.
songs I ever put. I used to have subs in my. I had
Yeah.
a truck, and at one point I was so stupid to put a whole box just on my back seat because I just wanted bigger subs.
Yeah.
And I put the lighter up and played trunk music, and it blew the lighter out, and I was like, oh, okay,
Yep.
all right,
I'm
Dude.
bumping.
I see what's
Dude,
happening.
yes. And then I remember my favorite song was "I Wish" with Raekwon because I grew up listening to Wu-Tang. So I'm like, oh snap, he did a song with Raekwon the Chef. Like that's crazy.
I feel like he was doing
Yeah.
stuff with people like for a while before he popped
Yeah,
up,
he-
and
he-
it could be like he needed a specific type of representation because he's a very like. I feel like specific people like him. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a certain genre of people like
he was
him.
definitely an underground king for
Or
a minute.
demographic,
And
I
then
guess.
when he signed to Eminem's label Shady Aftermath, that was the best, but in my opinion, and my mom agrees, that was the best and worst move of his career. Because if there's anything that
Signing
I've
to
learned,
Shady?
yeah, signing to Shady, because if there's anything that I've learned just by noticing rappers signing to other rappers' labels, you're never gonna be as big as that rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's only so big of a box that they want you to fill.
Prime example was when
Damn.
2 Chainz when Play a Circle rather was signed to Ludacris's DTP.
Yeah.
He knew he was never going to be as big as Ludacris if he was still on that label.
Yeah.
So he left, and now, I mean, no
What
disrespect
he do?
to
Just
Luda, but
wait his contract out? Do you know what happened with that?
I'm not
'Cause
sure how
I
it
don't
played
remember. All of a sudden, it was just 2 Chainz is here.
Yeah, I
Like,
think
he blew up
I'm not
quick.
necessarily sure if he was even signed.
Titty
I think he
boy.
was more so. Yeah, he was Titty Boy during the time,
Yeah.
but I don't think he was even necessarily like under a contractual agreement. I think he was just necessarily repping DTP during the time, and
Okay.
And,
and
also,
everyone.
he's probably playing it smart and getting a bunch of connections
Yes,
too. And
yes,
then he
uh-huh.
popped out, did his thing, and then was
'Cause I
like,
don't
"Hey, these
think-
people I know."
Yeah, because I don't think him and Luda even have any like beef or anything. I think they're cool. I think they're cool with
As
each
far
other.
as I know,
As far as I know, it's not like 2 Chainz is going around like saying F Luda or whatever. Like he's not saying
I
that.
feel like he
But,
wouldn't even do it if it
yeah,
happened.
nah.
He just doesn't even
Yeah.
seem like that.
yeah,
kind
2
of
Chainz ain't.
Yeah.
He's
too
not
chill.
trying to get
He's
in
like
the beef.
Snoop.
But
He's the
na-
grandpa of the league.
yeah, but now like you
stepdad.
yeah,
He is.
but like you just said, man, literally Play a Circle, you were kind of aware of him. Like Duffel Bad Boy was probably the only
Yeah,
song that you
That's
knew
the
about.
only song
But
I knew.
literally 2 Chainz came out of fucking nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like he straight up was like,
hey, I'm 2 Chainz.
yeah, exactly. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, you just heard him everywhere.
Yep.
And that was around the time that he ended up leaving DTP. And I'm not really too sure where he signed after, but he just kind of started doing his own thing. And now he everywhere. And he's putting more music out than Luda. I don't even think Luda's even
Luda
doing
doesn't
music
do
like
it.
that.
I haven't
I
heard
think
about
I-
Luda since he played at MTSU.
Yeah, oh, Jesus.
some-
What a
wow,
show.
really?
What a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was fun.
That's funny.
That was fun.
That was a great concert.
Yeah.
But no disrespect because I love Luda.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
But you haven't heard him in the last like couple years, seriously. Yet 2 Chainz has dropped maybe like 3 albums in the duration
So
of
do
me
you
being
think
in.
And no
something with,
telling
like,
how many
Yellow Wolf-
features.
Yeah, my
Do you
God.
guys think something like with Yellow situation, like he could get off Shady at some point
I think
and then do his own thing? Like I feel like he would be the type to have that connection with.
I feel
Shady.
like
Or
just the velocity of his career. If he would have left Shady, he should have done it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Just because like I mean
His sound changed. I'm pretty sure it was around the time but when he started singing more and stuff.
yeah.
that stuff is good.
Yeah, it is good.
Tennessee
That stuff is
Love.
good.
I'm-
I think that's one of the songs that
It's
I'm
a
talking
really.
about.
I
Yeah.
love that song. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, it's kind of a cliche if you're
Obviously.
here
Yeah.
in the greater Nashville area, but it's just a dope song.
Like Radioactive, yeah, that was a great album, but he even says himself he didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't like the approach that he took to it. And that was around the time that he was, being represented by my mom still. And even she was saying, like, I'm not really liking the Shady deal, straight up. And yeah, it's Eminem. Anybody would love the opportunity to work with Eminem. But if you sign with Eminem, you're never going to be as big as Eminem.
Yeah, and that's
or
just
you're not
like
going to be bigger than Eminem,
That's the same reason Bryson Tiller never signed with OVO Sound.
Because he would never be as big as
Never,
Drake.
ever.
Or bigger than Drake,
Is
And
he
straight
still
up.
doing shit?
Bryson?
Bryson Tiller, yeah, he
Yeah.
released an album some time ago.
Felt
Yeah,
like I saw it
His
recently.
his first album, I would say it's a freaking amazing album.
One of the best.
Well, you know what they
R&B.
say, man. You know what they say. They have their whole life to make their first album and 6
Yeah.
months to make the second one.
Yeah, and
Yep,
I was
yep.
disappointed
They've
with the
been
second
saying it.
album. I'll be
Yeah.
honest.
Just
I didn't think it was as hype. I think I've heard it.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
don't-
that new, right?
Nah, it
No.
came out maybe a couple years ago. Maybe.
Yeah, at least 2 years.
But you know what? And that's my point. The fact that I literally can't even pinpoint exactly when he dropped that is saying a lot, because I remember exactly when he dropped that first album,
Yeah.
Trap Soul. Jesus Christ, man!
Yeah,
what
everybody
an
was
album.
shitting. Everybody was
Dude,
like, "Have you heard
everybody
this?"
was bumping that for like. I remember that's
For
all I
months.
heard. Like I would, and what made it funnier was that was the type of album that you could either bump in the club or bump like with
Anywhere,
your girl,
dude.
straight up.
Oh
I
my
remember-
gosh, it was such a diverse but yet
Yeah.
cohesive album.
I remember in one night I went
You
to
loved it.
I remember in one night I went to I don't know if it was,
Rambo.
yeah. I remember I went
Rambo.
to a house party and heard Rambo, and I heard 504 Come Up, I think it's called, or something like that, or
Yes.
502 Come Up. That's what
Yeah,
it is.
the
I heard,
yeah.
yeah, I heard 502 Come Up. I heard Rambo, and
504 is Drake.
yeah, 504 is definitely Drake. Wow. See, sign OVO Drake, y'all confused me now. No, I'm kidding. But literally, I heard 502 Come Up and I heard Rambo all in one night at a party. And then I went home with my girlfriend and we're chilling in my room or whatever. And she starts bumping like, what's it called? Right My Wrongs, which is the last song on there. And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, and then it just dawned on me, like, I didn't say it out loud, but I was thinking, like, yo, I literally could hear Bryson Tiller in all aspects of what I'm doing, whether I'm partying, whether I'm chilling, like, that whole album.
It's like all of a
is
sudden
literally-
it consumed his life.
Yeah,
It was
literally.
like, he was like, "Get
all I
away
hear is
from
Bryson
me."
Tiller. Like, it's crazy, but, like, that's the point, though. His diversity was insane. But I think he sat on that a little too long because he didn't do nothing. I mean, yeah, he was on.
Nothing came out for like a year.
And
at
maybe
least,
a
right?
couple bad business moves could have been involved. But I mean, he's been on a feature recently that really blew
Who
up.
was that? I feel like I saw that.
He did a
The
song
song
with
was
her.
You. Yeah,
He did a song with her before too. Yeah,
and it was called You. And her really blew up.
No, I think that song was Could Have Been. Yeah, Could Have Been by her was Bryson Tiller. You,
Oh,
I know
okay.
what you're talking about. I don't know whose song that is though, but I know which song you're talking about.
Okay.
But the her song is Could Have Been, and he killed that.
Yeah.
But that's my point. He literally, in my opinion, yeah, it could have been bad business moves. I didn't really keep up with what was going on
either.
business wise, but he just took way too long after that first album. Like I feel like I didn't hear jack from him after that first one.
Right.
Which was a shame because I loved hearing him. But
Yeah.
after that first, literally, I had to replay that first one over. And if I wanted to hear Bryson Tiller, I'd have to go back and, listen to. It was kind of like waiting on the Carter 5. Like you had to go listen to his old stuff, and that just to be reminded, like
Yep.
oh yeah, Lil Wayne still.
People
thing,
waited
still
so
got it.
long
He
for the
still got
Carter
it.
5.
Oh my God, yeah, and he still has it. But in my opinion, I liked it, but I wasn't like in love with it like Carter 3.
Carter 3 is my
Dude,
favorite
Carter
today.
3
Oh
was-
my God, Carter 3 was insane. But you had people all over the music industry talking about, Carter 5, trumps Carter 3 easily. And I'm like,
I didn't think
I
so.
doubt it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
He was in
heard
a lot.
Carter
I feel
3?
like he was in
Yeah.
even though he might have been more under the influence at the time because I think
Yeah.
he was wilding out a little bit more.
talking about Carter 3?
Yeah,
He was
100%,
goosing,
And-
man.
yeah. So
he was zooted that whole album, dude.
Yeah,
It was
he was.
bad.
So-
Crazy.
he was just trying to keep his voice right, you guys.
Yeah, fair.
But I think that he had it more back then, and also it was just it was well put more.
Yeah.
It was so well. Speaking of albums that are well put together,
Yeah.
that was well put
Yeah,
together.
100%.
You know what I mean? And it
Every
had a couple
song-
anthems on it too.
Every song on there was a banger, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like, every song on there is a classic. And that
Yep.
is, let me tell you, that is something that is, I hardly ever see that. having an artist where every single song is a banger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
If anybody's gonna do it, though, Lil Wayne's gonna do it.
Yep.
I'll never forget when I first heard him.
Man.
I saw him on MTV.
Lil Wayne
Doing,
defines my entire
Go-
high school career.
Oh,
Go
same.
DJ.
100%. Yeah. Go DJ. That's my joint. I love that
shit.
song, dude.
So like
yeah.
going back to like hearing new artists and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
is that what's one of the first artists you remember hearing about from your mom before, you know what I mean? Like maybe her just listening to it, or like having the CD around the house, or something before it like blew up. Or even, can you even say that? Am I asking the wrong question? 'Cause I don't want to fuck you up.
No, you're good. Cause like
Should be like, damn it, you said what?
No, I'm just trying to think. I think Yellow Wolf was one of the big ones, you know,
Yeah.
because she did a lot of.
He was one of those people that had a long progression before he blew up too.
Definitely a long.
Like he
one.
was around for a while.
But when he got there, bro, he was everywhere. You know what I mean? You saw him on BET ciphers, and you know, you saw him just everywhere, man. You know, he's
Yep.
I remember
Damn,
my
I
mom.
love those BET
I remember
ciphers.
my mom told me, you know, check out Yellow Wolf's like mixtape. You know, I got a copy. You know, listen to it. Da da da. And literally about a year later, man, I heard him everywhere. You know, like I said, the BET ciphers, and you know, he dropped.
Yeah, it was right around then, wasn't it? And isn't that when I feel like he was on one with Eminem. That's the year that Eminem like shut it down.
Yes.
Isn't that the year?
Yep.
Yep,
That was the
dude,
year.
I was so into hip hop at that time.
And then he was on one before with.
Oh, that was so. There was so much tension around that whole.
my
Like I
gosh,
forget who was all in there, but the shade. He was on the Shady.
It was Joe Budden.
Eminem snapped.
Yeah, Joe Budden, Eminem, Yellow Wolf, Crooked Eye was on there.
Crooked Eye was
Crooked
on
Eye,
there.
yep. And then there's one other person I'm thinking of. Jesus, I cannot think of it. But yeah, Crooked Eye was
I
on
still
there.
got
Joe
that
Budden,
on my
yep.
iTunes.
Oh yeah,
That
100%.
whole BET cipher like mixtape. There was a couple of them that were fire.
Man, that
Dude,
cipher
I was
was insane.
so hype on
Yellow
hip-hop
Wolf was
every
definitely
year.
the biggest one, and then I remember she was even saying something about Kendrick too, because that's how that's how I heard about Kendrick, because she was representing Yellow Wolf, and she was like, oh, you know, Yellow Wolf's on the XXL, you know, freshman list or whatever, and I was like, all right, cool. Then I look it up, and I'm like, who's this Kendrick guy, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, he had a song on there. I think it was either his freestyle or a song that he had on his own that I loved. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I looked him up, and that's when, man, that's young Kendrick when he had like a no hair at all. Like now he's got dreads and whatnot. I don't know what it is.
He just had like a
Dreads is so his thing. He does not.
I don't know what it is about rappers when they get. When they blow up, they decide they all grow their hair out. Because look at J. Cole, man. You know what I'm saying? That dude has a mop on his head now.
A mop,
for real.
a mop,
yeah.
dude.
And then
he's trying to weekend it.
Yeah, he really is, man. His hair grew, but then you look back at Born Center, and it was barely grown out. Then he started growing it out on that one album.
Dude, that's funny.
Forest Hills Drive. He had he just had that typical not the hot top fade, but it was like more nappy than usual. And then after that,
can I get the more nappy than usual?
Right. I got you. I got you, fam.
man.
Yeah, right. But literally after that, man, his hair just progressively got larger and larger and larger. Now he got a mop on his head, for real, you know?
Yeah.
He does.
Dude, that's
Crazy.
funny.
He
I don't
does.
know. I mean, maybe they just feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's hard to take care of too.
Yeah.
Like dreads are just hard to take care of.
Maybe
in
you
general,
just
and
don't
you just
take-
have someone to take care of them.
Dude, I've got a
he
part in
probably
my
has-
head, and I'm already annoyed taking care of this. Imagine having
Dude,
dreads, dude.
keeping up
Jesus.
with that,
Oh, yeah.
keeping up with that is tough, and then trying to get
Yep.
rid of it is even more tough.
Yep. Jay-Z's
Growing that
his
little
hair
spot
out now.
out right there.
Joe,
Yeah,
hey,
he is.
he looks like a totally different
Yeah,
person.
Yeah,
he does. Jay-Z's growing his hair out.
He looks
That's a
young
good,
again.
It's a good look for him.
It
I like him
is,
I like
yeah.
him with the hair
I do
growing out,
too.
man. I like that. Yeah,
He
Jay-Z.
just de-aged like 10 years with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's
Jay-Z.
probably on them anti-aging meds. Though,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
man. He probably got the
Hey.
sauce.
Yep.
There,
That's what I'm saying.
I read like I actually just read the headline, to be honest
Sidebar.
with you, but it was like
Yeah.
it was talking about like some anti-aging pills, and it was like crazy.
Dude,
Huh?
anti-aging stuff or like slowing it down
Yeah.
is super popular in
Yeah.
like the health community right now.
Yeah.
It's like people are going off on it. Like some people even have said that they found, and of course, you know where I heard it, Rogan.
Yeah.
And like a couple of these doctors though are on there talking about like they take stuff every single day that they have been for the last 20 years that's
Yeah.
proven to slow down the aging of the human body.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck? Like,
You know what?
dude,
Here's
by the
mine.
time we get 50, we're living 200. I don't
Yeah,
care.
200, right?
That's what's happening.
Here's my anti-aging. Here's my anti-aging tip right here. Just quit hating people. That's it, bro. Just, you know what I'm saying?
Bam.
Quit hating people.
If you get the
Quit
hate
hating
out of your
people.
life,
man, you will look.
Who
fabulous,
used
you
to
know
say?
what I'm
Who
saying?
used to say? Get rid of the bitch assness. Wasn't that Diddy? Wasn't that Diddy?
Yeah.
I mean, for
rid
real
of the bitch
though, like
assness.
there's too much to like. I don't know. There's just, especially in this industry, like
Yeah.
I get hating on someone else's success because you're a little jealous. But, like, don't do it to the extent that it, like, causes you problems. Because that's really what it is. Take it and learn from it.
Take it, learn from it, and be better than that person. It's a friendly rivalry, you know?
Like Jaden Smith expressed on that weird, you know, how
the
weird he is.
stair steps.
The stair steps, bro.
Yeah.
I've never. Have you ever seen that video
I
of him
did,
talking about that?
I did.
He's like, if Drake makes a step and I step on it and go up another one, like, why
I had
can't we do that?
I had to rewatch it, you know, because he just kept
You know how he
step. I'm like, what the fuck? But
Yeah,
then I listened to it.
Yeah.
I listened to it again. I was like, wow, he makes a lot of sense. You know, it does make a lot of
He
sense.
talks
in
all
hindsight.
philosophical and
Yeah,
shit.
the Smiths are a little out there.
Jesus,
A little.
yeah, a little.
Yeah, they are.
But
for sure.
they're cool. I really love their music.
Yeah, no, they're insane. Will Smith, man, dude, he a lot of people nowadays forgot that he rapped, and dude used to
I
be
hate
nasty
that.
with it.
I hate that they forget that he rapped.
That's what I'm saying,
It was
man.
so cool. Now, I don't know a ton of his songs.
Yep.
His old ones, of course, I know most of the popular ones because I always gotta play them, especially at weddings and shit. People
Yeah.
always want some.
They want some
get
of that.
jiggy with
Yeah.
it. Dude, that's still a jam.
Man,
But,
I was just at Wall Street the other day, this local bar in town around the square.
yeah.
And,
Do you like that place?
It's
I've
dope,
only
man.
been in there once and it was dead.
It's clean. No, you got to go on the right times. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Definitely go on the right times. But no, it's cool, man. You know, I go over there after work all the time, and I was in there, and you know, they got a jukebox kind of like every other bar.
Yeah.
And somebody put on Wild Wild West by Will Smith, and I was like, what a song, man! I totally forgot.
I forgot about that song
sampled
too.
sampled a Stevie Wonder joint on there. I was
Yep.
like, oh, that is
Back
dope,
when
man.
sampling didn't get you in so much trouble.
Yeah. Now everybody wants a quick buck. You know what I mean?
But that's how
Jesus.
hip hop started. man.
pay your licenses.
Yep. Like, man.
I mean,
Did you pay? Did you pay for that?
Yeah, right. Like,
Did you pay for that? Yeah, everybody does blow up about.
God.
I mean, even with Ariana Grande and I don't know. This has been a whole Soulja Boy thing, but he was just hating on everybody. He was like,
Hating
"Oh,
on
this
everybody.
came from me. This came from me."
Honestly, you want to know why? Because dude about to drop an album and he wants to be relevant again.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like
Yeah.
Soulja, like look, man, I love Soulja to death, but he
Respect
just,
for Soulja, but
respect to Soulja,
also
but shut
calm
up, bro.
your
Like,
titties.
He just needs
Calm down.
He needed
Soulja game.
He got a platform
Dude.
where you know what I mean? He got a platform where he wanted to just be heard because he about to drop
Yeah.
new music and. You know,
He got what he wanted.
Yeah, he got exactly what he wanted because everybody's talking about
You know
him.
where I
mean,
first heard about that whole beef? Have
What?
you heard about the podcast Brilliant Idiots with
Uh,
Charlamagne the
yeah,
God and Andrew
yeah.
Schultz?
Uh-huh.
I listened to that, and the episode was called "Let Go and Let Soulja." And they end up like taking
Jeez.
this whole route back
Yeah.
to like how he could be the second coming of Christ, and it was just like they
Oh
were kidding,
gosh.
but it was hilarious.
You're gonna make
And, like,
Soulja believe that.
Yep, and now he's
well,
finna
that's
go
them,
around.
dude.
And
They're so you know how popular they
next
are.
thing you know, and I'm calling this right now, his album art or his cover art's gonna be him on a cross, probably straight up. You know what I mean?
Or at least a crown of thorns.
Yep, or a crown of thorns or something, man. And you know,
Yeah, you know how
just-
ridiculous he is.
God bless.
Because they
So
said he
good.
was like in that flood and like he
Yeah.
got helped get his friends out or stuff, and they were like,
Yeah.
"See, he can walk on water."
Yep, yep.
And I
built
was
the
like,
ark.
I was like, dude, that's what they were
Man.
saying, and
That's
I was, dude, it was
crazy.
just so funny though.
Charlamagne
It was
the
so
God.
fun. You know how wild
Yep,
they are.
Yep, Charlamagne the fucking God, dude. He's man.
crazy.
I love him. He doesn't give a fuck.
I love how
him.
much
That's
he
why I
stirs
want to
the-
read his book.
Uh-huh.
I
I've
love
been-
how much he stirs the pot, but I also used to hate him when I first really got into hip hop.
He's an easy person to hate.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
he
100%.
used to make me so mad.
That's how I feel about DJ Academics. I'm not a big fan of him, honestly.
No, I'm
He
not
just-
familiar with who that is. For
So-
some
yeah.
reason.
So DJ Academics, he's kind of like Charlamagne, but he tries a little too hard. In my
Okay.
opinion. He's just,
Personality on the internet.
yeah.
Is he a
you know-
radio DJ?
Yeah, actually, perfect example. Did you ever see Migos almost get in that fight with Joe Budden?
Yes.
Do you remember the beginning?
I
when,
heard about it, but I didn't see the video.
So there's a video going around, and you know, obviously it was live. You know, people were watching the BET Awards and whatnot, or the Hip Hop Awards, and Migos was getting interviewed by Joe Budden, another woman who I can't remember her name, and DJ Academics. And if you saw the video, Academics is a person who's asking Takeoff, like, you know, why'd you get left off Bad and Bougie, right?
Okay.
And you remember Takeoff was like, I got left off Bad and Bougie and all that, you know, whatever, and that got mean. And you remember the guy that was like, what'd you say? Wait, what'd you say? That guy? That's him. That's DJ Academics. And
Okay, that's why I've heard the name.
dude's an idiot.
He
stand
stirred
him.
the freaking pot.
Dude, he's just like Charlemagne,
He
except
was
Charlemagne.
being an ass, dude, he was being an ass,
When
though.
Charlemagne does it, it's funny. You know what I'm saying? And then he's
Yeah.
telling the truth. But when Academics does it, I feel like he's just trying to
Show his ass.
He's just really trying to show his ass, and it's annoying. You know what I mean? And he's just an annoying
Charlemagne,
individual.
you're right.
I don't know.
Charlemagne usually has a good point for doing what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Because
he
Charlemagne
usually,
real. You know what I'm saying? He's just real
he'll
about
like
it. You know?
call someone out for something that
He's not gonna-
that he's like, nah, that's kind of bullshit. But like,
Yeah.
he'll keep pressing the bullshit. Like,
Like-
but you did this.
Yeah,
and they're like,
exactly.
dude, let it go. And he's like, but I'm saying,
He's
know,
not.
like,
Yeah, he's not just gonna call you out for no reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's just gonna
you
see.
have to give him a reason.
You got to give him a reason, and he only do it
But
because
he'll do it.
he's calling bullshit. You know what I mean? Like he's
It's
being
like
real.
his job in the hip hop industry.
He's saying what we're all thinking. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I like him. You know what I mean? If I'm listening to a
He
radio
is one
show
of
like The
those
Breakfast
guys.
Club, or if I'm watching Brilliant Idiots or whatever, or I'm listening to
So you
anything
listen
that
to
he's
it
on.
too?
I've heard a couple things.
yeah, I've heard a couple episodes.
But if he's on that and I hear some artist say something like completely outlandish, like, oh my god, prime example was dude that made the song Gucci Everything. I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name. Yeah, you're thinking look
I
it
don't
up,
know.
bro.
Yeah,
Look it up.
I'll pull it
Gucci
up.
Everything.
But recently, or during the time when he was blowing up, he signed a Bad Boy, right?
Okay.
And Charlemagne was literally saying like, "All right, so you ready to get fucked over out of your money by Diddy, huh?" Like straight up. And dude was like,
The Game?
No, not The Game. It was The Game. I think is on it, but God, what is his name? It's hang on a second.
Chief Keef, French Montana.
Yep. Keep reading them. Who else is on it?
Let's see. Actually, that's a different song. No, it is.
No, it's the same one. Whose song is it?
Gucci. Is it 21
It
Savage?
says Gucci Everything, song by The Game.
Song by The Game?
This could
That ain't it because he has a song.
Fabulous.
No, well, maybe. Hang on, because he has a song called Gucci Everything that Chief Keef is also and French Montana is also on.
Is it?
But let me see. Red Cafe.
Red
Yeah, that's his
Cafe?
name. Red Cafe. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Him
I know
and
he's old school, right? Isn't he?
is he? I don't think he is.
Maybe I thought that. Okay, never
I'll-
mind. I got a different reason.
You're good, but
as to
anyway,
why.
Red Cafe. He recently signed to Bad Boy Records, and he was acting all excited or whatever. But historically, and no disrespect to Diddy, because he did the damn thing. He's a millionaire and whatnot. But a lot of
That
artists
could
claim
be-
they fucked him over. You know
And
what I'm
that
saying?
could be another reason he's a millionaire.
Yeah, exactly. Because a
I mean,
lot of
but he is Diddy, so like,
Yeah.
also people are like,
Yeah.
well, it's Diddy, like he'll understand.
hence why he pretty much got away with it his whole career. Because to be completely real, he 100% fucked over a lot of artists. Like it's kind of proven. Like look at Sean, for instance, man. Like dude, if he ever saw Diddy in the street, it's on the popping right then and there, But anyway, yeah, Red Cafe was on the radio on the Breakfast Club saying like, he was excited, he's about to get this money on,
Charlamagne
Bad Boy,
said
whatever.
that.
Charlemagne was literally like, yeah, you're gonna get fucked over out of your money, like straight up, and everybody was, and everyone in the room, like, everyone else, like not Charlemagne, the other radio analysts were literally like, he kind of has a point, you know what I mean? We were all thinking it. Whoever was watching it that day, and it was like me and another 3 million other people, because there's that many people tuned in. We all literally said at the same time, Diddy's gonna fuck you over, but we all couldn't say it, didn't want to say it.
Right.
The other personalities didn't want to say it.
Yeah.
Charlemagne was the only dude
He's
in
that
there
person.
that straight up was like, "You're gonna get fucked over,"
He's
and we
always
all
the
were like,
asshole.
"Yeah, he is." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
straight up.
Yeah, he's right, but that was kind of
Yeah,
like
he's right,
rude.
yeah.
But yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's true.
But he's not wrong. He's really not wrong at all.
Yeah.
He's
He
telling it
usually
how it is.
does have a good reason for. There's been a couple things in the past. I can't remember exactly what it was. It's been a few years back that I don't remember that I didn't agree with exactly, and I was like, man, you're kind of being like extra here.
Yeah.
But also, that's his job.
That's
Like
his job.
he's that guy.
Yeah.
he be getting clicks, man. I'll tell you what.
He
Like,
does.
Facts.
He gets people
Facts.
he gets man, everybody be tuning into him. I know that's the whole reason why I be watching the Breakfast Club. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He no
Yeah.
disrespect to the other two personalities, but dude, he is hilarious. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that episode when Birdman came in and then they're all like, this is okay, it was DJ Envy, that's right. He's like, this is DJ Envy with the Breakfast Club. We got Birdman in the building, and Charlemagne immediately is like, he just cursed us out. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, you got something you gotta get on the chest, Birdman, and Birdman just kept going in. Cause like, I
He's
don't
like,
think,
all right, tell us how you feel.
yeah, I don't think DJ Emmy was even gonna be like, he just cursed us out. He straight up was like, we got Birdman in the building. Charlemagne's like, he just cursed us out. Like he was being completely dead ass. Like that's 100% what happened.
But the thing about
Yeah.
him is that he puts this whole pot of honesty,
Yeah.
and he sprinkles in a little bit of just smart ass.
Just smart
And
ass,
just-
man.
Yeah.
Stirs it up.
Stirs it
just
up.
a little bit.
That's
He's
just-
like, all I gotta do is plant that seed.
Yep.
And there it goes.
That's him, man.
He
Fucking
knows what he's
strong, man.
doing.
Yeah, and he's really good at what he does. I love watching him. You know what I'm saying? He's a
Yeah.
hilarious individual. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd love to go out drinking with Charlamagne, just straight up. I'd love to have a beer or two
Shit,
with
I feel like I'd
Charlamagne and
get
just
arrested if I was
and
with
just hear,
Charlamagne.
yeah, right, and just
I
hear,
feel like he's one of those kind of guys just to do some wild shit,
Just
just
some
because,
wild
like,
shit.
hey, you think I'll do this?
yeah,
He's like
I bet
one
he
of
will.
those guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. No, I'd love to just get a drink or two.
Or he'll
with
be like, I
Charlamagne or
bet you
something like-
won't.
Yeah, right. Yep, yep.
Yeah, which
He's
is the
my-
wrong people for me
Yep.
to hang out with.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He's one of those dudes like you can't be like an asshole around him and like talk down about anybody or make fun of anybody, because if he dishes it out to you and you get mad, then he's gonna play off that and you're done for the rest of the night. You're screwed. Like
Yep,
he
yep.
has your car, bro. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like,
once he knows what
It's
really
over.
gets your goat, you're done.
it's over. Yep.
You're done.
What really gets your goat?
Yeah, we get your goat right. I'm gonna steal that. That's funny.
That is funny.
But yeah, man.
So
Shit. So,
you've been a music nerd all your life, pretty much.
pretty much, yeah.
Or
Mhm.
into it in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So between the time that you really kind of understood, I guess, what you said, how old when you found out about Yellow
When I
Wolf?
found out about Yellow Wolf, I had to have been maybe 13, something
Okay.
like that. Yeah, somewhere
Okay.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah. 12, 13,
So-
something. Yeah.
Before that, were you getting interested in, like, thinking that's something that you're gonna do, or like whatever, like, or are you even thinking about that at this point? You
My
know what
whole-
I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
or is it just part? It was like you said, just a lifestyle.
My whole life, I just kind of, music being a central, figurehead of my life had always been a thing. So when it came to like what I wanted to do with my life, I remember,
Because obviously people are gonna ask you that question.
yeah,
Like,
100%.
what do you want to do when you grow
yeah,
up?
Yeah,
And like that's more of a real career to you. So
yeah,
like
exactly.
that's what I'm saying. Like, did you think about that at the early parts?
For the most part, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to be involved in the music business in some shape or form. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you around it as a kid, as far as like studios and like high rises and shit,
Well,
or
we
were you
had
like,
Go ahead.
or you just like, you know what your mom does?
Well, it was a little bit of both. We had a studio actually built in our house in
Oh,
LA.
no shit.
Yeah, she
Okay.
so artists and whatnot would always come in and record, do whatever.
So you saw that.
Yeah, I saw that firsthand.
So
And then, even when I told my mom I thought I'd be, remotely interested in being involved, I started shadowing her and she just kind of started taking me to, different
She was
concerts
cool
and-
with it.
Yeah, very cool with it. She was excited. She was more excited than I was.
Yeah,
personally,
yeah.
She put me in different positions to learn. One of the biggest opportunities I actually ever had, because I told my mom like this was something I 100% wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because she refused to take me anywhere if she knew like if this isn't what you're gonna do, don't waste my time. Straight up,
Yep.
right? But when I told her 100% this is what I wanted to do, she kind of made it known to whoever she worked with, and next thing you know, and then this is gonna hit you in the face too. You thought her being president of Warner Brothers is gonna hit you in the face. Listen to this shit. I got to intern at Sony Music Entertainment in New York City my junior year of high school under Salam Remy, vice president during the time. Yeah. And the reason.
Oh
the
yeah,
reason
I'm just
why
the
I sw-
intern here
Yeah,
at this
right.
big ass
The
place.
only
In New York
reason,
City.
The only reason why I
So
was
was that
even-
right around the time y'all moved back to New Jersey?
This was when we
New
moved to
Jersey?
Atlanta, actually.
Oh,
So,
okay,
Yeah, so
so-
we moved to Atlanta my freshman year of high school. So I was from New Jersey. Yeah.
Okay.
So we moved to Atlanta, Georgia when I was 14 years old, and I was living there for 4 years before I got to Tennessee to go to school. And my junior year, around that time, that's when I 100% told my mom, like, hey, this is what I want to do with my life. You know what I'm saying? I want to be in the music business in some aspect. I don't
Yeah.
know what exactly, but this is what I want to do. And she was like, all right, I'll get your foot in the door. You know what I mean? Whatever. You do your thing. And as soon as, like I said, she has this guy that she had worked with for years, Salam Remy, right? Salam is if you're a real hip hop head, you know exactly what it is.
That
he's
name sounds so damn familiar.
He produced almost all of Nas's music. You know what I'm saying? He produced for Nas.
Okay.
He produced,
All right.
yeah, produced
All
for
right.
Nas.
All right.
He
That
produced
makes
for,
sense.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
produced for Nas. He produced a lot. Just here
East
and
Coast
there.
shit.
A lot of East Coast shit. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? He produced a lot of
That's
East
where I've
Coast
heard of
stuff.
that.
Anyway, so Salam, he ended up recently becoming vice president, or he became the vice president of Sony Music Entertainment in New York City, in Manhattan, right? And he contacted my mom and he was like, get him down here get him up here for a month, get him up here, shadow me, see how that works
See
out.
what's up.
Yeah.
Show him the business.
Yep. So I flew back up to New York City. I ain't been there in years. Went back up to New York City, and man, when I tell you, I had a blast. It was probably
I would imagine
the best
yeah.
month I've ever had in my life, man. I met so many people. I actually met the man in the studio, so that was dope. He was actually working on. Yeah, he was working on. Do y'all remember Mac Wilds, the rapper R&B artist?
I don't think I remember.
He had a little bit of a spark going on, especially around the time when he was working with Salam. I don't know if he still is, but he was a newer artist coming up. He originally went by Tristan Wilds. He was an actor.
Wild sounds familiar, but I don't know about the first name.
He was in The Wire, and then he was also in, oh my God, that movie.
I've heard about that show so many times in the past month.
He was in The Wire and a bunch of different movies.
That's an old ass. There's a movie?
The Wire,
show.
The show, yeah, it's a show, kind of like The Sopranos, like one of those shows that's like ageless or whatever. Everybody watches it whenever.
But, it's around forever.
Yeah, exactly. But literally, he he recently became a music artist, and Salam was working with him, and I had gotten up there in the midst of Salam pretty much wrapping up their album. Like the album was almost done. There was one song he was working on where Method Man's on the hook. It's called The Wild Things, right? And Method Man's on the hook, and he says, talking like Method Man on the very end of the track. And I got to meet him in the studio. He walked in, and I remember I'm throwing the hell off. I'm like, holy shit, is that Method Man? Like, just freaking out. And I normally don't freak out. You know what I'm saying? I normally can keep my composure, whatever. But this is Method Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is Wu-Tang, man. Like This is super duper OG, man. So I'm like, oh my God.
Especially as a hip hop head, like you're like, oh, okay.
And then Salam's like, hey, this is Rahsaan. He's kind of shadowing me for the month or so. And Salam just walks up, cool as a fan, just like, hey, how you doing, little man? I'm like, what's going on? You know what I mean? And I don't know if y'all know this about Method Man, but he is tall as hell.
Yeah, he's
Method
big as
Man
fuck.
is tall, dude.
He's big
like
as shit.
He got to be like 6'7", man.
Him and
like
Redman. Isn't Redman big as shit
Redman,
too?
yeah, Redman I want to say is pretty tall himself, man. But Method Man, holy smokes, that is probably the tallest. He got to be the tallest artist, like hip hop artist out there, man. Like
him and 2 Chainz.
Yeah, 2 Chainz too. Yeah, but dude, dude, he is huge. I'm like, oh my God. And he just walked in.
And you're like already looking up because you're in awe.
Yeah, I'm already looking up. Then I'm
like,
and what's funny because I was sitting down originally when he walked in, so I stood up to shake his hand, and I'm thinking he was already tall just because I'm sitting down on the couch. But then I stand up, I'm like, oh, he tall.
It's like I
mean?
didn't hear stand up.
So like looking up at him, you're
and
like,
I'm tall, so I'm like, oh no, dude, this guy is huge. You know what I mean? Like 6'7", man, just
that's
towering.
crazy.
Yeah, Method Man, dude, and
they gotta get an extra mic stand extension on his stand. They got to make sure they use the boom from the ceiling.
Yeah,
they can't get the regular ones.
They got a drum overhead boom going on.
Yeah, right. Nah, but that guy, he's a very cool individual. That was so dope to meet him for real. But I met him. I met Mac himself, which was cool. Met Pete Rock. That was insane.
Damn, you got some OG.
Yeah, that's
dude.
cool.
Yeah, super OG, man. Met Pete Rock. Can't remember exactly where. It was somewhere in Manhattan, like somewhere either in the Sony building or one of the clubs or whatever, or Staten Island. That's where it was. We're in Staten Island, shooting for Mac's video, and Pete was just there, just hanging out. He signed to Sony, or he was with, involved with Sony and Salam a lot. So, he was just there, just kind of hanging out. I remember I shook Pete's hand, and he is cool, man. Quiet, but he's cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's very quiet, but nah, man, Pete's cool. He's a cool individual. But yeah, man,
that's what's up. When was this? How long ago was this?
This was my junior year of high school, so I want to say that was 2013.
Wait, this was in high school?
Yeah, this was high school.
So was this?
I missed that part because you said internship, so I immediately thought,
college. No, this is high school.
Was this over like a summer?
This is over summer.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It had to have been maybe the beginning of June, going into the middle of July. Yeah. I was up there. Yep.
Holy shit.
It wasn't like an on paper, I am an intern of Sony. I was just shadowing this guy, you know what I mean? And
he wanted you to see how the business was working.
Yeah, but still, man, I learned so much just from seeing him. And it's funny because Salam's very quiet himself, you know what I mean? Unless you're talking business, but
So, was your mom staying up there with you at the time, or were you Okay.
Yeah, she was up there on her own because she had business to attend to herself, so it just worked out. So we all just and then my auntie Nancy had an apartment out in Manhattan on 81st. So we crashed there for a little bit. She has two. She has one in LA and she has one in Manhattan. And we crashed there for the time being, and she was just staying in LA during the time. So we just crashed there, and while my mom was doing whatever the hell she had to do, meeting with her artists and doing whatever.
Right.
I was going to Sony every day. So
That's awesome. Yeah.
which was dope.
In high school.
In high school, yeah.
You know, I didn't even know what a recording studio was.
Man,
at that time.
dude.
I
You
didn't even know that, that was a job. Like,
Dude,
to
right. I'm telling you, man, that was
I just thought it was stuff that they put on TV for all of us
just
little
for
people to
entertainment.
watch.
Yeah, you know, just for like it's a full-fledged business, man. It's just like selling a book or something or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, it's
Publishing.
literally it's literally a business. It's literally a business, and now we all know, you know, in our age now, you know, we understand how many different cogs are in it now. It's insane, man. You
Well,
know?
see, that's one of the main themes that we end up circling back around to, is that a lot of people that we know, like I imagine you have, now, I don't know how it is for you, like maybe a lot of your friends growing up were more into music.
Yeah.
But as far as like,
Or maybe not.
people I was around, people Dusty was around, for the most part, we're not all into music. Like they weren't like you.
They
now
listen
you
to
try,
music, but they have no idea all the
exactly.
gears
So
and the
like when
mechanisms.
we're here and we're learning shit, and then we go back and tell them, like I had a couple buddies back home. I do have a couple buddies back home that still make music, and like I'll go back and tell them stuff I learned,
And they're like,
what?
What? Yeah.
Like, how does it work like
Exactly.
that? Like,
Can you help me, bro?
I have I have a ton of friends back home that are, you know, music heads, but you know, only so few know like there's a whole business aspect to it. You know, like one of my best friends from home, a guy named Alex. He knows damn near a lot of what goes on business wise in the music industry, but that's not his major whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? He's you know, doing his thing, what he's got going on, but
does he just pay attention to it, or
he's just so musically aware. I would say, you know, like he's just aware of everything.
something that he's interested in.
Yeah, you know, he's aware of deals. You know, he's aware of, you know, music dropping. You know, he reads XXL every now and then. You know, when XXL wants to post like interesting stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's been tripping lately, but you know how
I bought it for the freshman.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I bought it.
Precisely. But literally, you know, he's as coached up as the next guy. Honestly, you know, he's very in tune with, you know, what he has going on or what's going on in the music business. And it's funny because that's not what he wants to do. That's just something that he's just keen on, you know?
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
I feel like somebody like that is just like, you just need to hop on over.
Yeah.
Just hop on over and work with
you
us.
know, a piece of me was hoping he would at some point, but you know, his whole family, he's into architectural stuff. Yeah. So that's what he's.
That's what I thought I was gonna do before
his
music.
Hobby
Yeah.
is being into the music industry. Like he's
Yeah,
interested. Like that's one of his hobbies.
Yeah, that's more so his hobby. And you know, a piece of me all through college was hoping that he would eventually hop over, but
just call you and be like, "Yo, I'm coming."
Yeah, but he never made the move. And you know, he's living, he's doing his thing. You know, he's got a job. You know what I'm saying? So he's doing his thing, and you know, it's not like it's changed. He still listens to music all the time, and we still talk about music up and down. So it's all good. But yeah, he never made the switch, and I'm disappointed. But no, he'll. It's all good, man. He's got a job and he's happy, so you know I'm happy for him. But he's very coached up when it comes to the music industry for real. Like he knows exactly what's going on. He doesn't know little jargon, you know what I mean? Like certain
if you're not doing it every day.
Like he doesn't know what a 360 deal is, to be fair.
Yeah.
But he knows that there are deals being made and that they have, you know, consequences and that they have benefits, and you know, he understands.
He probably knows that there's deals being made where they get a percentage of everything.
Yes, and he understands that,
Just doesn't know it's called a 360 deal.
Yeah, and he understands that, you know, there's, you know, different cogs that move in the music industry to make certain shit happen.
Yeah.
He knows that stuff just doesn't happen. You know, he knows that there's things going on.
Process to it.
And that's him also being around my mom too. You know what I'm saying? Like when we you know, when we ever hung out and, you know, he kind of just saw my mom working, he just straight up asked her, you know, what she got going on, and you know, she'd tell him, you know what I'm saying? And he would just kind of, I guess,
absorb it.
Yeah, he would just absorb and reel in everything, and, you know, he just heard it.
That's
all,
crazy.
You know?
He never got into it, though. You would think
Man, I wish
like
he did. Wish he did.
You would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, when your family's like architects, like kind of like we're in the architectural business.
Yeah, like his father was doing his thing with that. You know, that's what he went to college for, and he stuck with it. You know.
Right.
But yeah, no, he's very keen on music, man, for sure. He's always hitting me up about newer artists that he'll sometimes beat me to the punch, and I'm like, snap, I never heard of this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, yeah. He beats me to the punch more times than I'd like to admit. Yeah. No, for real.
I love that shit.
He always hits me up like, have you heard this? Have you heard that? Have you heard that? I'm like, you know, yes, no, yes. Who is that? I haven't, you know what I'm saying? Like he'll beat me to the punch, and I'm supposed to be the music business guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he beats me to the punch all the time, man. But you know, it is what it is. You know, he's a great dude. You know, great guy to talk to. So
All right, speaking of beating to the punch, you know what we're going to beat to the... Well, we're not going to beat it to the... I don't know. Depends on what time she releases it.
Well,
we release our
it will
podcast
be
early
in
the morning.
Yeah.
So you
we'll
want to
beat
give
her.
this an intro?
I'll give it an intro.
This.
So we're about to take an intermission.
Is that cool with you?
Yeah, cool.
Take a quick intermission, and we're going to end you on this podcast with Miss Chloe Kimes with her song called "Medicine Man." She will actually be releasing the music video for this song the day that this podcast comes out. Hopefully, the day that you're hearing this podcast. But yeah, Medicine Man. You know, she wrote it herself, and it's just amazing Americana music.
And I mastered it.
And Moose mastered it. BT Dubs.
Little wrist, big fit.
Hey, Mr. Medicine Man, there's change in my purse. Could you please read my hand? I've been wondering how long it's gonna take for a heart to finally heal from a break. And I've got a question to ask. If I paid you enough, could you bring back the past? Could I get another moment of his time? Could I change his mind? Hey, Mr. Medicine Man, do you make a potion for giving a damn? Could we slip it in somebody's drink? 'Cause he just doesn't care what I think. And hey, I'll take something for me. Strongest whatever to help me get free from these chains that I keep on myself. Say, could you help? Medicine Man looked me dead in my eyes. He said, who do you think that I am, child? I am not your savior. I am not a god. And these things, they work on their own time. You can't erase them in a day. Can't dream them away. Hey, Mr. Medicine Man, I'm sorry for thinking that it's in our hands. I guess someday I'll find it myself. Thanks for the